In this video, we're going to make our first reading through chapter 14 of Aristotle's Categories. The topic of this chapter is motion, and Aristotle is going to guide us through the 6 different species of motion here in chapter 14 of the Categories. So let's read through the chapter together. Aristotle writes, "Of motion, there are 6 different species, 6 species of motion. And here they are: generation, corruption, increase, diminution or decrease, alliation or change in quality, and mutation according to place. Of motion there are 6 species, namely generation, corruption, increase, diminution, alliation or change in quality, and mutation according to place. With respect to other motions, therefore, it is evident that they are different from each other. For generation is not corruption, nor is increase diminution, nor is mutation according to place. And in a similar manner with respect to other motions. In alliation, however, it is doubtful whether it is necessary that what is changed in quality is so changed according to some one of the other motions. But this is not true, for it happens that we are changed in quality nearly according to all the passive qualities, or the greater part of them, without any communication with the other motions. For it is not necessary that what is moved according to passive quality should be either increased or diminished, and in a similar manner in the other motions. Hence, alliation will be different from the other motions. For if it were the same, it would be requisite that what is changed in quality should immediately be also increased or diminished, or follow some one of the other motions, but this is not necessary. In a similar manner also, that which is increased or moved with any other motion ought to be changed in quality. Some things, however, are increased which are not changed in quality. Thus, for instance, a square is increased when a gnomon is placed about it, but does not become at all more changed in quality. The like also takes place in other things of this kind, so that these motions will be different from each other. Simply, however, rest is contrary to motion, but particular rests to particular motions. Corruption, indeed, to generation, diminution to increase, and the rest according to place, to the mutation according to place. But the mutation according to a contrary place appears to be especially opposed, as for instance, ascent to descent, and descent to ascent. It is not, however, easy to assign what is the contrary to that which remains of the motions that have been explained, the other motions. But it seems that nothing is contrary to it, unless someone should also oppose to this the rest according to quality, or the mutation of a quality into a contrary quality. Just as in the mutation according to place, we oppose the rest according to place, or the mutation into a contrary place. For alliation is a mutation according to quality, so that the rest according to place, or the mutation of a quality into a contrary quality, will be opposed to the motion according to quality. Thus, becoming white is opposed to becoming black. For a thing is changed in quality, a mutation of quality into contraries taking place. This is the end of chapter 14. So in chapter 14, Aristotle discusses motion and helps us to see that there are 6 different species or kinds of motion. A very simple lesson. Then he goes into some discussion of some of the complexities of this topic. But to keep it simple, look and see that there are 6 species of motion identified. And make sure you see that when Aristotle speaks of motion, he's not necessarily speaking of movement. Normally, in modern society, when we speak of motion, we mean movement. And really, that's just one of the 6 species of motion. Mutation according to place. All right, so we're not talking about motion as movement. That's just one kind of motion. There are 6 different species of motion. And really, if we're to boil this down into what seems to be the real essence of motion, it would be change, any kind of change. In the classical philosophical sense of motion, motion is really a matter of change, generation, corruption, increase, diminution, alliation, and mutation according to place. All seem to have in common the idea of change in some way. All right, so chapter 14, learn the 6 species of motion. And remember, there's a reason why Aristotle's teaching us these things. When you read the works of the masters and you see they give you a topic in a chapter, trust the masters, that they're leading you with wisdom in their teaching and preparing you for what's coming next. So study chapter 14, motion and its species, a simple chapter. And once we're finished with chapter 14, we've got only 1 chapter left to go. So let's get done with this. Work hard to study, complete your lesson assessment, and let's move on and finish our first reading through Aristotle's categories. God bless your studies.